Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and I want to welcome you to my stamp room tonight for my tips, tricks, and techniques with using the Cheers and Sips stamp set. As you know, I've kind of been obsessed with that this whole month. But it's a great stamp set, it's a great suite, and I just have a few more cards that I wanted to show tonight. I hope everybody's doing okay. If you're out there, give me a thumbs up or make a comment, let me know that you're there. Know that if you're on YouTube, you can ask me any kinds of questions you want in the comments section. I will answer them. If you're on my website, which I think I might have sent out the wrong link in my newsletter today. I think I sent out the link. Hey Janice, I think I sent out the link to last week's live. I don't know. It's been a busy day. Anyway, so I will make sure that it goes out tomorrow in the newsletter so that people can catch up with me. But if you're on my website and you ask a question, I won't see it till after it's over. So just so that you're aware. But on YouTube, I can see all the comments that people make. And so, like I said, if you have a question while I'm doing my demonstration thing, please feel free to ask. Anyway, I think I'm going to flip my camera and get started. I've got 3 projects tonight with the Sips and Cheers and Sips bundle. We're actually using the dies too. And then I'm also using the Glass and Gardens embossing folders, and I will tell you that these are on back order right now. However, they're supposed to be back in stock on June 30th, next week. So hopefully, that's Monday. So hopefully they will come back in stock, because this is like a great embossing folder. And it's still available. It will still be available after next week. And then I used a couple of other die cuts tonight. I'm going to use the Spotlight on Nature, because I haven't used this one for a long time, and this is a really good one. It comes with all these dies, and they kind of layer, but they also have those fancy edges on them. Anyway, I hadn't used them for a while, so it's kind of fun to pull those back out. And then, of course, this is probably my most used. They're kind of a mess. But it's Stylish Shapes. And I love these. You get all these circles and squares and tags, banners. Anyway, that's what I'm using tonight on one of the cards, I think. Anyway, I'm going to pop these in here because I actually cut out what I needed earlier just to save on me doing some die cutting. All right, let's start. Okay, so like I said, we're going to use these products. I'll put these over here so I don't lose them. We're going to use the Designer Series paper, and I wanted to show you my pack because I'm saving every scrap. I have been cutting and using scraps. I've got a few full sheets in here still, but this was a really fun pack of paper that I've used. The colors are so pretty. Anyway, as you know, I've been kind of doing this Celebratory Sips all month. And it is my tutorial for this month, so I'll quick show those cards. You can see this one has shine to it. That actually is packing tape. And if you go back onto my YouTube channel, I might bundle them all together because I have like 3 or 4 Celebratory Sips videos. But this is my tutorial for the month. And so how my tutorial works is if you place an order with me, I send you a link, a thank you email with a link to it, to the tutorial that's printable PDFs of the projects with measurements and the steps and everything I did. I'll also post on the same website the video of me actually putting the cards together. So I give you some little tips and tricks while I'm doing that. And then if your order's over $50, I send you a packet of supplies to make all 4 of these cards. So these are the cards. So what you'll get is you get the card bases, you get whatever I put inside. So that's a basic white layer inside. You'll get that too. The ribbon, enough ribbon to complete your cards, and then also some embellishments to complete your cards. And you'll see that I use those embellishments on almost every card. This is clear packing tape, and I use that on almost every card too. So just kind of a fun way to use these stamps. This one was a good one. It had lots of the paper I used. And then last week, if you were here last week, you saw me put together a couple of other cards, just a little bit different. This one was all using, this is paper that I stamped and die cut out, and I use that embossing folder because I love it. But just another way to put that stamp set together. And then this one, I love this card. And this uses that embossing folder, that floral one in the background. But what a great card for any occasion, you know, whatever you put on the label there. So those are just some more of the Celebratory Sips cards that I did. All right, so tonight's cards, I've got parts and pieces laying around, but I also wanted to let you know that I will have linked on my website PDFs with the measurements and the instructions on them for each of these cards that I do tonight. So you might want to, I haven't put it, I don't think I put it yet, I know I might have, in the YouTube description below this video, but I will check after I'm done tonight and make sure that all gets added in there. So I hope you're all still out there. Yeah. I was having some issues earlier today, and then a storm went through, and I was like, well, this ought to be interesting. We'll see how this all works out tonight. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and to begin with, I'm using a piece of the basic white thick cardstock is my base. It's just a little bit thicker than our regular basic white. It's kind of nice with a thicker base to it. Gives your card a little more oomph. And then I've cut some papers out. Like I said, you'll have access to the PDFs for this. So I have these 2 strips of Timid Tiger and then this floral piece, which I don't think I have really used much till today. So that was kind of exciting. It's just the back. So the floral's on the front and that's on the back. I love that. I'm going to go ahead and put this together. So I'll flip this over and I'm going to add adhesive and hope this, oh yeah, this one has in it. I wasn't sure if I had an adhesive that worked. And then I'm going to go ahead and line these up on here. And I just wanted like a, I don't know, a 1/4 inch strip along there. Like that. And then this whole piece is going to get added on to the base of my card. Right across the front. Super easy. You can actually move it down too. I just bought the paper, yep, but not the stamps. I really like the paper design. Janice, I think what you will find, honestly, is that you can make so many fun things with just the paper and any sentiment stamps that you have. The paper, I mean, these were cut out of the paper, these images, and I wanted to show you on this particular one, I actually, let me pull out the paper here. I don't know. Like I said, I've got, oh, here it is. I've really, have been really cutting. I think what I should do, or what a person should do, is just sit down some night and cut them all out. And then have them ready to go. All right, so this piece here, this little piece here, was actually down here at the edge. I had, like this, I had a cup over here that had this on it, but it wasn't a full cup. So I just cut out the greenery. So use the sides of your cardstock, use the edges, and use up all that paper. All right, so there's that. Now, on those dies, what were they called? Spotlight on Nature. These are some of the dies, and you can see when you cut them out, you get those really great circles, and then you get that really fancy addition to the edges. These are just 2 of the circles that are in there, and I'm actually going to use both of them right on this card. This is Strawberry Slush, which I find myself using a lot, and I think it might be, I love Strawberry Slush, and the Timid Tiger, which I've found myself having to order more today of both those colors, which I kind of think is funny because they're really not colors that I normally use. However, I love that they're bright and cheery for summer, and we did have snow here recently, so but I think summer's here finally. Knock on wood. I find some wood to knock on. It actually has been decent every day. And next week, I can't believe it's July already, and I've got huge family coming in for the 4th of July. So, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece that I just cut out of that designer series paper, and add that on there. And this little piece, I think I'm going to add that on with some dimensionals. I'll grab a sheet here that I have. I'll keep watching for comments in case you have a question or something. So I'll put this on with dimensionals. I like to use dimensionals just because it gives your card a little more oomph, a little more pizzazz. And then this little sprig of, I don't know, mint or whatever it is, I'm just going to add with a little dimensional onto that. So it kind of looks like it's on the drink. But yeah, so that's just using the paper so far. So really, this is one of those stamp sets that could really just use paper. All right, so I'm going to go ahead with the stamping part of it and grab a block here. I'm going to put cheers. Let me see if I pulled out. Yeah, I did. Strawberry slush, ink. I'm going to ink up the cheers. And I'm going to stamp this up here. And I'm actually going to line it. Uh-oh. I better go ahead and stamp it because I already mucked up. Oh, there. I caught it just in time. Did you see I had a little smudge on there? Anyway, what I was doing was I was lining up the cheers with this line so that it was straight. And it worked. All right, so once I have cheers on there, I'm going to put a little 2U because it's so tiny and it's cute. So this 2U, that's how little it is. You can barely see it. I'll ink that up. When I ink it up, I'm kind of using a big block, so you got to be a little careful that you don't get ink along the edges of your block and then smudge everything. Oh, that says cheers to us. Oh, there's two of them. I didn't know that. Okay, so there's a cheers to us and a cheers to you. I'm going to put cheers to you instead of us, but it's nice to know that you have that. But remember, don't get ink around the edges. It's all right that you're late. I'm just getting started, Sylvie. Besides the fact that if you didn't start live with me, you'll see everything. However, you can always go back and watch the very beginning. All right, so there is my first card. If I wanted to, and I think I do, I could add some of these in color flat pearls. I've been using them a lot, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and pull out this other piece because the strawberry slush and the timid tiger are in this pack here. And I think I'm going to use, it's so hard, I'm going to use timid tiger and add a few little dots around on my card. And really, truly, that one is complete. I could stamp a sentiment on the inside if I wanted to, but these are really super easy cards that I wanted to show you how to do. So card number 1 is done. Let's move on to, let me clean up my mess here. I tried to stay organized today. We'll see how well I did. I'm going to bring in card number 2, which uses all these pieces. So I've got Blackberry Bliss base. And like I said, these will be linked to my website, and you'll be able to go into my website and have all the measurements and everything. All right. On this piece of cardstock, we're going to take this piece, and I'm just going to mention something about this piece. It's actually in one of my tutorials with this month. But on this piece of paper, these images actually coordinate, and you can stamp on them to give these a little bit more detail. And I think I did it on a card. Let me find where I put those cards. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Sorry. I should have had this out. Anyway, you could match this up on this paper. So like this strawberry, if it was full, you could use that strawberry to stamp on there and give just a little bit more detail. I'm not going to do that tonight. I just wanted you to know that that is a possibility. We're going to go ahead and add this piece on. I don't know Oh, nope. See, this should have been cut down a little bit. I'm going to pull this off. This piece should have actually been cut. I think it's my mistake. It should have been cut down to 5 1/4. Just because sometimes I like, I'm going to do it really quickly here, upside down, so that's even more of a challenge. There we go. Sometimes I like a border that goes all the way around my card. So like this is going to line up here, like that. And then you see you get your Blackberry Bliss border around there. If I had cut this piece, this long piece to the same size 5 1/2, I probably would not have even changed that. All right, so there's that piece. So just 2 strips of the paper. And then I cut another die, so you can see the border on that one. So it's really kind of fun. That's with the Spotlight on Nature. That's going to go on here. And then on this piece, I'm actually going to do a little bit of stamping. And on this piece, this is a piece of the Designer Series paper. I'm going to do a little stamping on that too. So I think I'll start with the paper. And I use Blackberry Bliss ink this time. I'm going to ink up this cup. And then I'm going to look at this piece and stamp my glass right on the top of that blotch. And then I'm going to take the little blackberry that's in there. Trying to keep my stamps kind of organized. I'm going to actually ink this up and just stamp a couple blackberries inside that little cup. I could also have done some ice cubes. All right, so this one's going to get die cut, but I'm going to stamp these other things that I need to stamp first before I do it so that I can die cut them all at the same time. All right, so we are going to put this razzleberry away. I'm going to use the umbrella. Stamp that umbrella and stamp it at Blackberry Bliss. I've just did Blackberry Bliss on this cardstock. And then the Cheers. I must use that Cheers in a lot of, there we go. It really wasn't on the, I'm just going to stamp that down for now. All right. So, let's start by closing my ink pad before I end up with Blackberry Bliss all over everything. I'm taking in fresh freesia, and I kind of chuckled today because I didn't use fresh freesia this week. Cardstock. And, however, I'm going to use fresh freesia blends on my umbrella. I just think it's funny because I've been kind of a little obsessed with fresh freesia lately. I love this fresh freesia with the Blackberry Bliss. It's really pretty. So I'm just coloring in the umbrella. And then I am going to come in with a little bit of the dark fresh freesia and just do a little bit of shading. Nothing fancy tonight. Our swimming pool opened up here, and so I've been going to pool aerobics in the mornings early, which I will tell you, pool aerobics in the pool, thankfully the pool is 82 degrees. However, the air temperature, today it wasn't too bad, but the last week it was always in the 50s. A little chilly when you get in the pool, but anyway, it's making me very tired at night. I am shocked at what a workout it is because I don't know, I don't feel like I'm working out that hard, but then I come home and a couple hours later I'm like, oh yeah, well I'm working out, that's for sure. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use the dies for this set. I'm going to cut out my glass. I am going to cut these out because I wanted to stamp them for you first. I just want a couple things though. So I'm going to lay that on there, and I'm going to tape it down so that my die doesn't move when I twist around here and put this in my Big Shot. I just want to make sure that I'm cutting exactly where I want to be cutting. So I'm going to go run and quick cut these two out. That's the only thing I think I'm cutting out tonight. So everything else I think I cut out. So I will be right there as soon as I run these through the machine. All right. Move these dies out of my way so I don't end up spilling them. Pull my cup off here. Get that. This is just Post-it tape. Take out my umbrella. These two pieces I actually just attached to my cut and emboss machine so that I have it for the next time, because you can use these over and over and over. All right, so now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead with my little circle here and kind of figure out where I want. So I want my cup to go on here like that. I guess I want it to go like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to take the, there's this stamp of the stick for the umbrella. So what I want to do is I want to kind of figure out where I want all that to go, and then stamp this down. And I'm just stamping it again here. Got really inky. Anyway, I wanted it to look like it was going into the cup, which it kind of does. It kind of worked. I rocked the stamp a little bit, so don't do that. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. That's what sounds like a mom saying. All right. I'm looking for my dimensionals. I'll just pull another sheet. I've got tons of them here. Lately, our paper pumpkins have been coming with these huge sheets of dimensionals, and we don't use them all in the paper pumpkin, so I always have large sheets of dimensionals laying around. So I'm going to go ahead, I put dimensionals on that, and then I added that on there. I'm going to put dimensionals on my umbrella and add that onto my card. Oops, you see where my dimensional sticks out over the edge, so I'm just going to trim that off. Add my umbrella, and you can see how good that fresh freesia coordinates with that drink. I better close this or I'm going to be sorry. All right. Now the cheers, I'm going to actually cut out. And I didn't make you sit and watch me cut out all of the paper images, but I am going to make you watch you or make you watch me cut this out, only because I didn't do it earlier. So I'll go around the edges. And I just leave a little bit of a border. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is like a lot of people do now, is with their sentiments, is just trim them out. There is a way that you could do this. Let me show you. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that that got trimmed out, and I'm going to add a dimensional onto the back of this. Just that one where the C is, because it's high enough. And that's going to get added on there. And then this whole piece is going to get added on to my card base. Oh, you know what? I might move this if I can. Taking a chance. Yep, okay. I'm just going to move it like here. I want to fill up some of that space over here. All right, so there is that card. And if I wanted to, I might use some of these yellow. I think yellow and Blackberry Bliss look good together. So I'm going to add a couple of these dots over here. And just kind of pulls it all together. But pretty simple. But just a fun, easy card. So that's card number 2. Let me move that up there. Card number 3. This is kind of fun. I love this new color, cloud cover. It's one of those colors that goes with a lot of things. It looks blue, but it can also look gray. One of the things that I need to tell people about cloud cover ink is that it's not, Stampin' Up! Is not going to release it. This year when they released, they brought the cloud cover to our onstage event. And while people were doing color charts, they realized that the color wasn't exactly the same as it should be. And so they believe that the ink from cloud cover somehow, when it's put onto one of our pads, the foam pads, it has a chemical reaction and the ink color changes. And so after some thought, they've decided that it takes too long to figure out what they need to do chemically to make it right in the foam pads. So they're not going to bring out cloud cover in an in color for the next 2 years. It's coming just as, it's just not going to come out. But one of the things that we can do is, let me find, this is a color that I actually used in July for my card kit club, my Create With Me card kit. I love cloud cover, so what I'm doing is you can take one of our uninked spots and a refill and make yourself a cloud cover ink. That's what I've done. And this month in my, or not this month, in July, that card kit is going to have an ink spot in everybody's packet that gets the Create With Me card kit, because I wanted to use the cloud cover ink, and then they'll have it to use, as long as they have a refill, they'll have it to use forever. Okay, so to begin with, I used the embossing folders, the Glass and Garden. So I used the glass one. That's what this one is, and I think you can see it if I put it up there. I will tell you that both of these look different depending on which side of the paper you're using. It's very interesting to see, but I went ahead and embossed that to begin with. Now, one of the things is I'm probably not going to put adhesive on here because these fibers have broken down. It could end up tearing the cardstock. So I'm just going to put adhesive on this side because I know that I wanted to put this piece right over that. And so it's not a full all the way around, it's just a strip, but it's just kind of it's got a nice look to it. So there's that. I took a little square of this paper, which I love. I've actually done stuff cutting those all little images out, but I also used it as just a background paper. So there's lots of different ways you can use it. This is going to go ahead and get added onto my card base. Like that. I cut out a circle. This was the stylish. So this is the card that I used the stylish shapes on. And this is a circle from there. And all of those have that little dotted edge around them. All those squares, banners, rectangles. So this is going to get added on to my card base. Maybe there. I cut out a glass from the big sheet, and then I cut out a little cherry, which I'm going to use. I'm going to use a piece of, this is just a scrap that I had around here of the Designer Series paper, and I'm going to add that on here. I'm going to take the cheers and the Secret Sea. Secret Sea is beautiful. It's a really dark navy blue. In fact, a couple years ago, when I was painting my house. Hail Navy was the big deal. People were painting their houses Hail Navy. I didn't. I painted I have a little house next door to me that my brother-in-law lives in, and I painted his house Hail Navy because it coordinated with my house. They were kind of right next to each other. Anyway, so I used a banner from the Stylish Shapes. I'm going to go ahead with this, and we're going to put it on with dimensionals. Just kind of over that Timid Tiger banner. Then I'm going to take this cup. You know what? I'm going to show you what I did with the, there it is, clear packing tape. A couple ways that you could do this. You can actually put the tape on it before you cut it out of your paper, or you can put the tape on it after you've cut it out. It's really, seriously, is just clear packing tape. I picked that up at my local Family Dollar because I send out so many packages. I end up with tons. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors while you're at Family Dollar, go pick up some rubbing alcohol swabs, or fingernail polish swabs, because they clean up your scissors when you get all this gooey stuff on them. I need to run over there at some point and pick up a few things, so I'll have to put that on my list because I never seem to use the same scissors twice, and so all my scissors, my snips, when I pick them up, have a little gooey on them. All right, so that just makes your cup shiny with not a lot of work. I don't know, let me see if I see it. It's so cool. That is a cool technique. All right, and then this one's going to get put, it also makes it sturdier. But this is going to get put on with dimensionals. Like that. And I'm going to add that. Oh, I know what I need to do. All right, one of the things I need to do, because I put this on with dimensionals, I need to make sure that this one over here is doubled up so that it actually sticks to the, there we go. Then it doesn't bend. That makes sense. And then this little cherry is going to get put on there. I'm going to grab a tiny dimensional, because that will just fit right on the end of that cherry, and we'll add that to my drink. And there is the beginnings. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp it with, I think I'll use It's Your Day. Did I use that one yet? Probably. I got to be careful because some of these stamps are so tiny in this set that I have to check it constantly to make sure that I still have all of the images when I go to put it away at night. So again, you want to ink it up and stamp that down. And there's your quick card. Now, I could use lots of different kinds of gems because this particular card uses the cloud cover, the secret sea, the timid tiger. Almost all the colors from these gems are in there. I'm going to go ahead and use cloud cover. And we're just going to add, they make them so shiny. Add some gems onto there and it really just makes that card pop. Yay! All right, so here are 3 cards using Celebratory Sips. And like I said, if you place an order with me this month, you'll get another tutorial with 4 more cards. Plus, if it's over $50, you'll get the packet of supplies to make those cards. And those people who are members of my Create With Me club got packets to make their cards. And sadly, I don't have them with me because I gave them all away. I sent them off with their packets. But they were beautiful. They're very layered. Create With Me club is just a different way to do club with, they get a lot more packet or projects, a little more complicated. Not complicated, but you know, more layers, more embellishments, more ribbon, all that kind of fun stuff. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask, because I am almost done with my demonstration. I am done with my demonstration. So I'm here to answer any questions. Just know that the suite sale is still going on. So for instance, if you decided that you wanted to participate in that, there are a couple different ways that you can do it. So you can do it with the whole suite. You can do it, thanks Janice. You can do it with just some of the products in the suite. So for instance, if you decided that you did want the Cheers and Sips bundle, you wanted both the dies and the stamp set, you could purchase that. And then you could add anything, any product that's in any of the suites across the board. So for instance, with this one, if you say, oh, I want Cheers and Sips and I want the dies, I'm going to get the paper for half price. Or you could actually get the stamp set. I don't know which one's more expensive. I think the dies are. So you could get the dies for full price and the stamp set for 50% off. Does that make sense? But you have to remember that the 50% off item is going to be the least expensive item in your cart that's part of a suite. And that's a lot of words. Anyway, so if you have questions about that, or you have a list of stuff that you might want and you need some help figuring out how to do it with the best deal, please get me involved. Send me an email. I can figure it out for you. I can send you the information and let you know how we can do it so that you get the best deal. Other than that, I'm good to go. I won't be here next week. I have a huge family reunion starting here in Red Lodge at my house over the 4th of July weekend. It's going to be crazy. And I might be on the week after because I think most everybody will be gone by the following Thursday. But watch my email. If you're not signed up for my newsletter, do that so that you can stay informed about what I do, what's going on, when I've had an event or whatnot. I've got some fun things coming up here this summer. So if nobody else has any questions, I'm going to say good night. I see I need to change that. It's still a little wintry. I guess it's summer now. Hopefully next time you attend one of these or see me live or on video, I will have changed that project out. It's time. It's time to put something summery in there. All right. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great week, and it's coming. And I hope you have a great 4th of July. Take care, everybody, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.